Hey, it says we're live. Welcome to the Pittsburgh Hockey Now and National Hockey Now YouTube channel. Live Penguins postgame as the Penguins fall to the Dallas Stars 5-3 on not 5-3. That was the other night, 3-2 on Saturday. I apologize. I am racing around. Obviously, I'm a full 10 minutes late, and I do apologize to everybody. I just wrote 2,000 words. Post-game, report card, getting all of that done, plus setting up the post-game here. Dan is busy. I really should hire some additional folks to come along and do this with me or for me, rather. But quite frankly, I always get mad at people I hire. It's like, no, do it my way. My way works. So we're going to talk about the Penguins' curious decision today. And I thought Mike Sullivan probably burned himself. Before the game even started, it's obviously 3 games in 4 days. It's obviously, your legs are going to be a little bit heavier at the end of the game. Sullivan, he didn't outsmart himself. I think he succumbed to the circumstance on Saturday. And that was dressing 7 defensemen, but only playing 7 defensemen. I think that discombobulation, that constant line juggling of only 11 forwards, and that constant juggling on the blue line of having 7 defensemen, I just think it takes everybody out of rhythm when you have 11 and 7 rather than 12 and 6. I think Sullivan would have been better off, and I wrote this in the report card. Sullivan would have been better off doing what he has done in the past in such situations, and that is sliding Friedman or Riikola to the 4th line, letting them play the wing, maybe only playing them 5 or 6 minutes, right? Only some easy shifts, but keep everybody else in rhythm and keep everybody else in flow. And I thought Sullivan kind of cost his team a bit of that today. I mean, I'm not beating up Mike Sullivan. He doesn't make many mistakes. I thought that was one. And I would bet if the situation is the same on Tuesday in Anaheim, if the situation is the same Tuesday in Anaheim, I don't think Sullivan will do 11 and 7. Boy, they probably regret sending both Anthony Angelo and Radim Zohorna back to WBS this week, don't they? They could have used either one of those guys on the 4th line, and all would have been fine. I guess you go on the road and you get that far and you assume that everybody's going to be fine. You assume that there are no COVID cases, and so they could send Zohorna back to Wilkes-Barre. And I did check Saturday morning. Zohorna was, in fact, back in Wilkes-Barre. I guess he either didn't make the trip on Friday or got a flight, to Dallas and then back to Wilkes-Barre. So that's where we stand. Do me a favor, share this around. I kind of did this on a little bit of I always do these on a little bit of a spur of the moment. I try to do these after every away game. We will not be doing these at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning after Anaheim, Los Angeles, San Jose. We will not be doing post games then. In fact, I'm going to share this one more time. So bear with me. Just bear with me. Here's the whole Twitter thing. And I'm going to have to blast this out. So if any of you have more than 8 followers, please feel free to give me a hand here. Live now. Be like one of those black girls, so mud flap silhouettes of the girl, live now. Just put that there in my tweet. That would catch a lot of attention, and then put underneath of it Penguins postgame show on PHN. By the way, I want to give props while I'm doing this to my colleague Sheng Peng in San Jose. Sheng is ahead of the game on the Evander Kane story unfolding at this moment. The Sharks have placed Evander Kane on waivers for the purpose of a contract termination. This is irrevocable at this point. Elliot Friedman was the first to report the Sharks had put him on waivers for the purpose of termination. Schenn got a no comment from Kane's agent and then got comment from the league office, did Schenn Peng. Bill Daly himself, deputy commissioner of the NHL, told Schenn, that, I don't have the quote in front of me. Long quote short, Bill Daly said the Sharks' actions look solid. They look good. He thinks the Sharks are within their rights. The NHLPA, whose job it is to fight for Evander Kane, said they are looking into the matter. I think the Sharks found their opportunity, right? And the story is, always take the unfolding and breaking news with a little bit of grain of salt, because, we always find out a little bit more later and a little bit of truth later. It looks like Evander Kane was COVID positive and still traveled to Vancouver. Eek. That can get an organization fined pretty quickly, can it? And that certainly, look, if you travel to Texas with COVID positive, they'd probably cheer you. But if you go to Canada, they're ready to put you in front of the firing squad. And that's just enough probably for the Sharks to finally get out from Kane's contract, which has 4 years and $28 million left. Whew. That's an expensive trip to Vancouver. Vancouver's an expensive city, but that's a really expensive haul there. I don't think we'll see Evander Kane in the NHL ever again. And it'll be curious to see if he gets a spot in the KHL. If you think there's an undercurrent of racism in hockey, if you look at the Ukraine situations and you look at some of the stuff happening in Eastern Europe with regard to racism and that sort of thing in hockey, it makes some of the stuff that's happened in the Canadian junior leagues or on the periphery of the NHL look like nothing. So we get to the comments here. Resetting. I see some new folks joining us. Obviously, the Penguins lost 3-2 to the Dallas Stars. A couple of late goals. We'll dive into those. Martin says Marino needs to be scratched. I don't know about that. That was certainly a rough third period for John. According to Natural Stat Trick, John Marino was on the ice for 7 scoring chances against, and just 1 scoring chance for. That's a little bit rough. That's not the kind of day that you want. In fact, here is the PHN report card. If you wait just a second, I'm going to give you the coupon code to get half off. PHN report card. Oops, I need to learn how to spell report card. By the way, if you don't already subscribe, make sure you do that right now. Subscribe to the channel. I think it's right down here. Click that button. You can set notifications too, so when we do go live, you are in fact notified. Fefe, how are you? I don't know if I should call you sir or ma'am or madam or Zay. Fefe, Malkin seems to be coming back, and defense let Jari down. Yeah, Joe Pavelski is not a bruising sort of guy. Joe Pavelski is not 6'4", and Joe Pavelski is not 220 pounds. Yet Joe Pavelski had a wide open rebound attempt late in the third period. 5-on-5. That cannot happen. That's sketchy defense. That wasn't John Marino, by the way. That was Mike Matheson. That kind of drifted away from Pavelski. I think that was a mistake on Matheson's part to get there. There, kind of set up on the fly. I don't. All the lights, all the professional lighting is in the studio downtown. This is just at the dining room table. Maybe I started calling these the dining room table chats instead of a live chat. Anywho, the second goal late in the third period. Yeah, that was kind of on Marino. It happens. He blew a tire. I don't know where he went, though. I don't know where the rest of the Penguins were. I don't know how Hintz is the 4th star into the attack. I don't know how he gets into the crease with not a Penguin player in sight. Not only does he do that, he actually has time to pull the puck from behind the goal line out in front and tap it in. That was, I mean, you have time to make a sandwich at that point. Autograph the puck first. I think Mike Sullivan will have a little bit of a conversation with his troops over that goal, especially. When a guy gets a rebound goal, as Pavelski did, sometimes it happens. You say to the defenseman, look, here's where you were. Here's where you should be. It happens to all defensemen because it's just a whirling mass of chaos out there. But to get beat back so badly by Rupe Hintz, as the Penguins did, and to lose the game, that's probably not one that's going to sit very well. Yes, they've won 10 in a row, and you can't do a superfly snook off the top rope on them after one loss. But you can adequately assess what happened, what went wrong on Saturday, because that was eminently a winnable game. And you never know. Look, 2 points now could mean a world of difference in April. 2 points now could mean the difference between playing the Carolina Hurricanes or the Detroit Red Wings in the first round of the playoffs. It could mean playing the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round or drawing, I think, a team they're better than, the Washington Capitals. Those 2 points at the end we've seen are ridiculously important. So even if you've won 10 straight, getting, you're going to look back at every loss that you should have had. And the Penguins were 18-0-1 with a lead after 2 periods before today. And now they're obviously 18-1-1. How do you think Tristan Jarry played? I was curious if Jarry was going to take a little bit of the blame because those were rebound goals. I didn't blame him for either of those third period goals. I really didn't. I thought Jarry, in fact, on the game-winning goal, I thought Tristan Jarry made a couple of spectacular saves. He had to make 2. He makes the initial one. Then he makes the rebound chance, and the puck trickles, behind the goal line. Where in the world was Carmen Sandiego? Faye, I see you chiming in there. Yeah, the first line was absolutely solid. Crosby, Gensel, and Rodriguez are a decent enough first line. I'll tell you the one thing I thought they didn't do enough of in the first period, however, not the first period, the third period. They weren't able to find enough space in the offensive zone. They didn't battle. They didn't battle in the crease as much in the third period as they did in the first. I'm trying to think of how I want to dissect that or phrase it. They were trying to quick strike, and they were trying to score on the rush rather than going back to the cycle game, which I thought worked very well for them in the first period. So, you kind of, you're not going to kick them. They were the best Penguins line by far. The Jeff Carter, Kasperi Kapanen, Danton Heinen line had its lunch taken from it. Dallas had 10 scoring chances against that line. That line generated only 3 scoring chances, one of which would be Kapanen's goal. You laud Kapanen for scoring that goal. They had a good first period, but where did Kasperi Kapanen go for the last 40 minutes? Where did he go? Oh, Jamie says that Fefefe, professor you had, was a female. Dan, did I get my Erod jersey yet? I tried to get one, but it burnt my hand. It's on fire. You know something? I have not had a Penguins jersey since 1995. When I began to get into the media, well, actually, I should rephrase that. From like 95 to 2000, I sure as hell couldn't afford a jersey. And they weren't like they were now. It was cool to have an out-of-town jersey back then. So I had a Sharks jersey. I had my vintage Vancouver Canucks skate jersey and a Red Wings jersey. That's what was cool back then. The LA Kings sweater was like the white with the silver crest, the Gretzky. That was my Eleanor. I could never. I bought 3 of them on eBay because you obviously couldn't, it wasn't like it is today. Couldn't just hop on Amazon and click. So you always had to try to find one. They were always used or whatever. And I bought 3 of them, and each one was a piece of crap. I got swindled 3 times over a few year period trying to get the LA Kings white with the silver sweater. Oh yeah, Erod. But I haven't had a Penguins jersey in literally 25, 26 years. But kind of weird, right? I have to be objective and cover this team. I see media guys do it, especially with the Steelers. Good Lord, the Steelers media. Objectivity. I mean, the lines are pretty blurred in the Steelers universe. I'll just put it that way. I see Steelers media wearing Steelers memorabilia and swag, and I'm just like, wow. No, I can honestly tell you if the Penguins win or lose, doesn't affect me. I'm rooting for a good story, and I'm rooting for all of you to be either happy or mad, because that's what makes me money. If you're happy, you click on the website and you cheer and you get all happy and you click more. And if you're angry, I'm usually able to explain why you're angry. And so you come and you click, and that's where I live. When you're indifferent is when I'm going to worry. Okay, let's see here. Yager, Lemieux, or Crosby or Malkin had to pick. Nope, I had no name on the jersey. No names on my jersey. It's always kind of weird to me that like grown men wear jerseys with someone else's name on the back. What the hell is up with that? Anyway, that stuff's for kids, in my humble opinion. Hi, I play hockey all the time. Okay. JV, in 1995, you could have fit in with Snoop Dogg rocking the pen. Actually, that's the jersey I had. That was the Penguin. I had the Pittsburgh, or actually, I guess on the screen be this way, Pittsburgh. That's what I had. And there was somebody in my life who got mad at me and destroyed the sweater. I had some bad people in my life. Yinzer sports fans love homers in the media. Myron Cope, for example. Yeah, Myron was not, at that point that we know him, was not an objective, and you didn't go to him for, like, he wasn't writing the Monday morning analysis on the Steelers, right? He was the color guy, and there's a certain homerific nature that you're allowed to have with that job. And in fact, it's almost institutionalized now. You can find me an objective color analyst in anywhere in sports. I'll give you the Wayne's World. I'm not worthy. They're all pretty much, they're telling the story from your fan eyes, and that's what they're there for. Okay, so let's dive in. We've talked about I think Mike Sullivan's mistake. We've now talked about Crosby and Jeff Carter and Kasperi Kapanen. I was a little bit surprised that Evgeny Malkin wasn't in the lineup today. I thought today would have been the perfect day, but I guess they're going to save him for either Anaheim or later in the trip. They surely could have used him today. Boy, that would have stabilized everything, right? But if he's not ready, he's not ready. And I'm sure they are absolutely waiting till he is rock solid 100%. I'm tech support to old people too. The writers I hire can't figure anything out. Oh, it kills me. Anywho, here, actually, I'm going to reply to the new writer we're going to announce this week. Oh, I can see the problem already. It takes me 2 seconds, and I'm like, just look at the arrow. See the arrow that hides your thing? Click on the arrow, and it'll show up. Okay, so who else do we want to chat about in the context of this game? I really like Chris Letang's game at this point. I really do. I mean, look, in what today was game 30. He had 1 assist, so that gives him 28 points in 30 games. Given the absolutely atrocious nature of the Penguins' power play for most of the 21-22 season, to have nearly a point per game means he's getting it all 5-on-5. That's just impressive. Look, there's a lot of defensemen in the league who get that offensive defenseman moniker, and they don't score as much as Letang. And a good mouthful of their points comes via the power play. I'm thinking of Justin Schultz, of course, and some other folks, along those lines. Tell me again, how in the world the Penguins replace Chris Letang? It really can't be done. They would have to pull a trade of trades, a vintage Craig Patrick 1991 kind of deal to replace Chris Letang. They really would have to be a blockbuster of blockbusters. And do you see Ron Hextall doing that? That's just not how the NHL works anymore. You don't see, 3 and 4 players aside changing hands, and these star players. It's impossible nowadays. It genuinely is. So they just, the longer this season goes, and if Chris Letang maintains this sort of pace, if he scores 70 points, he is just going to have the Penguins over a barrel. I mean, he really is. And I could be a little more vulgar with my analogy. I could, we could talk about a scene from Oz. I don't mean Wizard of Oz. I mean the HBO show that took place in prison, Oz. He's going to have complete control. So I think it might behoove the Penguins to get that done. Perhaps in the All-Star break or whenever they have another week off or whatever the schedule is going to be. I think it would behoove the Penguins to probably get that done, because if they don't bring back Letang, they have no options. And at that point, just signal the full-out rebuild. Just call it. It's a full rebuild at that point. Let's see here. Heinen missing the empty net again. Yeah, it was he healed it. It happens. Let's see here. Heard anything on Zucker? Well, Jay Wheeler, look, as a hockey injury, we hear nothing. He skated before practice this week, and that's about as much as I know. They don't give updates until a player is coming back or we catch them. Really, I mean, unless we catch them on the ice hours early, that's when they kind of have to release a little bit of news. But other than that, a hockey injury, you have a better chance of walking up to the front door of Fort Knox and saying, "Hi, I'd like to see the gold, please." Ain't gonna happen. All right, JV, Letang trains like an animal. He does. He actually trains. His trainer / off-season coach has become a friend, both to me and the National Hockey Now network. And I hear some stories of how hard he works, and it's crazy. Michelle Therrien told the story to Jonathan Bomboli and I a few years ago. This is obviously before the pandemic. There was a charity game not long after the shooting in Squirrel Hill at the synagogue. And so there was a charity game where a Jewish team took on kind of an all-star team. And Michael Therrien was coaching, fake coaching, obviously, donating his time to a good cause, the Jewish team. And he just kind of, gave us a little bit of a media availability impromptu before that. And he told the story of the kids, Sidney Crosby, Chris Letang, Evgeny Malkin, and Marc-Andre Fleury, how they were as 20, 21-year-olds. And he actually said, I actually had to tell them to go home. I had to force them. I had to turn the lights off on them and make them go home. All they had ever known to that point in their life was hockey, and they love it so much. The four of them are such an interesting breed. It's almost like the Beatles finding each other in Liverpool. This little gaggle, or an enclave of geniuses, a genius enclave. The four of them finding each other. As much as they all love hockey, they had to be tossed off the ice in the afternoon because, Terrian's like, just rest, go home. You can't play hockey all day, every day. So I wanted to get that little story to you. And yes, Letang still trains like an animal at he's only 34 right now. When does he turn 35? It's just after the season or late in the season? I don't follow guys' birthdays. Some of you do, and I know some of you like plan parties and stuff. I don't. Okay, let's see here. Wheeler says, if I'm Letang, I wait. I think a normal player would wait, Wheeler. But Letang isn't a normal player. He doesn't want to hit the free agent market. He wants to get this done. He has been, most guys are like, well, it's a business. We'll see what happens. Letang is like, no, I want to sign. Hurry up and sign me. He's been that guy. And I think if the Penguins just get in the ballpark, it gets done. I really do. I don't think the Penguins will be held up at gunpoint. I don't think the Penguins will have to pay full boat. They probably have to give 1 or 2 extra years they don't want to give. At this point, you've got no choice. You really, really don't. Maybe we should talk about Edmonton Oilers. The team at this moment is worse than Kunlunen in the KHL. I don't follow the KHL enough to know Kunlun. I just did you guys see the goalie in the Russian men's league just stoning Vladimir Putin? Wait, let me rephrase that. He stuffed all of Putin's shots, like all the defensemen. Putin goes to the net. He's a total bender. I mean, I skate better than Putin, and so Putin goes to the net. And he's just whacking away at these one-timers and rebounds. And the goalie is having none of it. He's just swatting them away. And all the defensemen are literally standing back 10 feet. The defensemen are looking at this goalie like, what the hell are you doing? Do you want to live inside? You want to raise your grandkids in Siberia? What are you going to wind up dead if you make another save? But kudos to that guy. I love somebody who holds their ground. To hell with power sometimes, right? Okay. Anyway. All right, JV. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's kind of a dead time. It's Saturday at 6:00. Who the hell's going to be on YouTube? I just kind of did this. I'm going to do the post later, so I've got an extra post, which always helps. And we'll have, of course, more content. I have some comments from Brian Rust that I put in my back pocket for tomorrow as well. We're going to do a story on that. And, look, the Penguins are close. I mean, they're even today, when they turn in a B- effort, C+ kind of effort, they took a very good Dallas Stars team to the mat. They should have beaten them. There's no such thing as moral victories when you're in the Penguins' position. But if you want to take something, it took everything Dallas had to beat the Penguins. Now, Dallas has now won 12 of their last 13 home games. They're almost unbeatable at American Airlines. They're a different team at home than they are on the road. And it took everything they had to beat the Penguins with 11, who had only 11 forwards. So take that for whatever it's worth. All right, that's 30 minutes. I'm going to put in the last call now. I know we haven't gone long today. I normally go an hour. But without the videos, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to do that. Maybe I have to buy a second iPad and run the studio here too, so I don't have to always go into the downtown office. Maybe I should. In fact, tell you what, here is the coupon code. I'm going to give you all the coupon code for hanging around here and stopping by the live chat. Here is first how to subscribe to PHN Plus. You can read today's report card and you can be one of the cool kids. Okay, you subscribe here. Do me a favor, use code HATTRICK and you will get 50% off. A $30 subscription will now cost you only half that. $15, little man. Put that in my hand. If you don't, you owe me, oh. Little Jay and Silent Bob. All right. That's so that was the last call. I'm gonna run. You can't do Jay and Silent Bob and continue the show, can you? I think at that point I've got to bail. So kids, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate those of you who stop by religiously and come by every chat. You do kind of make this fun for me. Otherwise, it's monotonous, me just staring at a little green light on my laptop, me having to comb my hair and put on some clothes and go to work. Appreciate you. Do it for you. And I guess we'll be talking again probably Wednesday. Wednesday, I'll do a live chat. I'm assuming they'll have the day off on Wednesday, or they will practice so late in the afternoon that I can get a live show in and also cover practice. So enjoy your Saturday nights. Hey, one place to check out. I was downtown a few weeks ago. Con Alma is downtown. It's a little jazz club now. It's where Peter Allen's used to be, kind of across from the Benedum Theater, kind of right there by what's the sports bar that's on Mount Washington and downtown? Redbeard's. It's by Redbeard's in the Argentinian place, just a little bit down towards the Cultural District. Great little jazz club. Have your Vax card. They do check you, but it's awesome. So until then, have fun.